Hello, folks. First leg, winter workout tour here at Nixa High School, Nixa Baseball Club here in Nixa, Missouri. As I said earlier, we can't say Springfield.
Yep.
This is Nixa.
That's right.
And we're here to talk a few minutes with the head coach of Nixa High School, Logan Hughes. Coach, thanks for taking a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Love being out here. We got a couple good teams today with the weather, the snow that we've had.
It's the winter workout.
It is the winter workout tour. That's right. So we've got a 12U team and a kind of combination. One of our 13U teams. They're both here today getting some work in. So
I'm looking forward to it. I wanted to ask you, we talked earlier before we came on camera. Are all these kids Nixa High School kids?
Yeah, so we're at, when we took the program over 4 years ago, we were probably about 70% Nixa kids, and just had some kids filtered in from other areas. And that was kind of one of our things when we came in, is like, we're going to be Nixa Baseball Club. We want to be Nixa kids. We do have a couple kids still, maybe 3 or 4 throughout the whole organization. A couple private school kids that play for us that help fill the rosters and make sure we have enough kids to compete on a weekly basis. And so, but we're at probably about 98% Nixa kids.
That's pretty good, because, I know Nixa itself is a Class 6 school, but still, when you're talking about the population and whatnot, filling that many kids and filling those spots, where I'm sure you still have some kids that go to other places to play, correct?
Yeah, and I think we have about 195 kids in our youth organization that are again, probably 188 of them are Nixa kids. And we do tryouts every year. And unfortunately, when you have that many kids, we had 255 kids try out for just Nixa kids. And so it's exciting time, because it's a lot of kids that are excited about baseball in this area. That's
awesome. Talk to us about the future for the program. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, this is evidently a development process. What's the thought process behind the club moving the kids to high school?
Yeah, so kind of our first focus was to make sure that we have the right coaches, the right men in place to coach our kids. Obviously, from a high school standpoint, we can't be at all of our youth practices.
Right.
I would love to, but we just can't. And so I think the first order was to make sure we get the right coaches in place, coaches that are going to take what we're doing at the high school level and continue to coach that when they're 7 all the way up until they're in high school. And so we do a lot of coaches clinics where our high school coaches will work with our high school or with our youth coaches and coach them up. And they'll be practicing like the practices today. They're going to be doing the same thing that we're doing with our high school kids. And, I'm a firm believer in whatever you want them to do. It may take them a little bit longer to pick things up than high school kids. But eventually, you keep repping the same thing over and over, they're going to pick it up. And so we're trying to use the same verbiage when we're talking about base running, hitting, pitching mechanics, all those kinds of things. We're trying to talk about the same things that we're going to talk about with our high school kids.
That's building culture.
That's exactly right.
I love that.
Yep.
Because that's what it's about. I mean, when you get these kids to high school, you don't have to teach them your baseball culture at that point. They're already immersed in it, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the goal, is that if they've been learning something since they were 7 on how we teach base running, well, when they get to us, we don't have to teach the elementary stuff all over again. We can move on to the more advanced stuff. And same way with hitting and pitching and that kind of stuff. And so that's the goal, is we want them to start learning at 7 what we're teaching our kids at 17. And if we can do that, then for 10 years, they're learning the same things. And hopefully we're getting better at it every single year.
That's awesome. Well, hey, we're getting ready to start. The coaches are over there getting the kids ready to go for the practice. We've got some great stuff coming up. Make sure, keep the camera rolling.
So what you guys need to get good at, and what you need to be better than the pitcher is at picking off his leadoffs and returns. So we know, and I got this from Tyler Gillum on Tweety, coach of Savannah Bananas and Bay. So he uses the belief that if the base runners are better at returns, leadoffs and returns than the pitcher is at picking, that we can control the pitcher. All right. So 5 foot lead is just this. And then you settle in. I know I'm at 5 feet. I never look back. Okay. If that's a little bitty lead, that kid's not going to try to pick you, which keeps the big run safe. So just get a birdie lead, a 5 foot lead. Not 10, just 5. Big deep breath. And settle. Yep. So you're 5 feet right now. Count your feet back, Whited, from my toe. Let's see if he's correct. Nope, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, good. Okay. Gonna go. Right. Whoop. Let's see. So is that where you were? Go ahead and get ready. Yep. Center field to right field. I can get it to him. Wait for the runner home. Get home. Hit behind it. So we're gonna
We are hitting behind the runner. We have a runner on second base, and our job is to get him over or get him in. They're to drive the ball second base or center field to right field. Good. There you go. Good. That's a great swing. Hey. Good. Take it right back at me. Gap to gap. That boy. Get after one.
I just want to swing away, honestly. Get some tanks.
Get on time.
I kind of want to. I want to use my USA bat, but I guess I just have to save out for bunting because I just want to hit it hard in here.
Middle of the ball.
Yeah. You want popping? What?
I want to get as much pop as I can.
You're right.
Yeah, me
Hey,
too. Swing away. Is it swing away?
get after it.
I'll do that just for you.
You're a 2-0 count. Runner in scoring position. We need you. Get after ball.
Oh,
Great.
ball is
I like it. Well done. Hey, keep getting after it. I like it. If you're a shortstop, do you want to get in front of that ball?
No. Honestly.
Oh, no. Here we go. Reset. Out.
Oh, let's go.
Pretty good round.
Folks, we're here with head coach Brandon Burks. Coach, tell the folks what team do you coach?
So I coach the 12U Red Squad for the Nixa Baseball Club.
Red Squad. Okay, talk to us about how long have you been with the program?
So we started with this core group of boys since they were 7 years old. So we've, this is going to be our 6th season with the club.
Oh wow, 6 seasons. So talk to us about what draws you to this club. Evidently, your son's probably going to go to Nixa High School, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. But a few years ago, they started this program to be sort of a feeder program for the high school, which makes a ton of sense to me because we have a really good program here at the varsity level, and why not sort of put in those same principles and fundamentals going up through the program. That way we have really good athletes when they get to that high school level.
Absolutely. Because youth baseball, I know, from Metro St. Louis to Kansas City to Springfield, it's all a little different, right?
Right.
You have some club teams, and I'm sure you thought about that. What's the difference, you think, from what you guys are trying to accomplish here? Is there much difference? What's the thought process?
Yeah, I think the big thing is, we have a little bit of a disadvantage with recruiting because we're taking kids that are from our school district. But I know our club and some of the other teams that are in our club have been very competitive. For example, I know you can see and you've probably heard that we've won some USSSA state championships at this level, facing some of those larger clubs. So when we travel a lot, we see a lot of clubs that are really good and they play a lot of good baseball, but they may have kids that are 2 or 3 hours from their home base that they've recruited. So a lot of times they're going, we're facing those teams that recruit a lot of those kids at those big tournaments and things like that, which I understand they're perfect. They have the right to do that, but we really like to keep those homegrown kids here because we know we're going to filter those up to that varsity program.
It's always nice, and I think that shows there is a talent level when you start winning, state championships and tournaments and things like that. But, it seems to me that the emphasis is more on developing these kids into the high school program, yes?
Yeah, I would say so. Coach Hughes, the varsity coach, has coaching clinics with us every off season. He's pretty heavily involved. He was here earlier going through some things with the kids. He really enjoys it. He himself has kids that are in the program. So he really has a vested interest, not just in getting the kids ready to play varsity baseball, but just growing good young men and teaching those good fundamentals at the youth level.
Yeah. Do you think this is something that could possibly continue to grow out when you're talking kind of getting back to kids playing together that are going to play high school baseball together?
Yeah, I think that's the key is, we have, like I said, our core group of players have been together since they were 7 years old, and they're very familiar with each other. There's a lot of camaraderie there. They're really good buddies. They play video games together. They do a lot of stuff in the off season. And, I think that not only just building those players from the fundamental standpoint of baseball, but just being friends and being buddies going up through the system. Then when you get to that varsity level or the high school level, that camaraderie just can't. It kind of comes naturally, right? They already know what to expect from each other and how to play with each other. Yeah.
That's a big.
It is.
That's huge. Talk to us about the clinics. That's interesting to me. Coach Hughes putting that on. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. What is it about those clinics that helps you when you come into this situation, developing the kids and then moving it on into the games?
Yeah, I think Coach Hughes does a great job with that because he's not a micromanager. He's not going to be in here saying, hey, you have to do X, Y, Z, every single thing. But he really talks more about the fundamentals and more of the philosophy overall of Nixa Baseball, where we really want to cause pressure, especially with base running. He talks about base running fundamentals and being aggressive and taking extra bases but not being reckless. And I think a lot of it is more philosophical in nature, to where we know sort of what mentality we need to get into these boys, not only just teaching them how to play the game fundamentally, but that mentality and that mindset that they need to be elite athletes, as they grow older and be good sports and be competitors as well.
I think it's interesting, because you're building culture as you move through. And, I'm sure there's probably been some kids that have played at other clubs. Is there, the benefits of coming and playing in Nixa Baseball Club if you're going to go to Nixa High School is actually, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, one is as I've said, the varsity head coach has his hands involved with, he's the director of the youth program. Not only is he the director, but he's also pretty heavily involved. He's, there's times where he'll just contact me out of the blue and say, hey, coach, when's your next tournament? When's your next games? And he'll just show up and watch us a few times. And, he's a busy guy, and that really, the boys really, they see that. And it's, like you said, building that culture. I don't think that you can put a price tag on that. Those are going to pay dividends that you can't even, you can't anticipate. And once that gets here, I think you're going to see the Nixa program is just going to thrive from having this youth program, building all these kids and feeding them into that varsity program.
Well, and we've seen that year after year, for the last however many years it's been becoming that. And I do believe that has to do a lot with culture, and you're building the culture in these kids. You got to have talent, right?
Sure.
But if talent doesn't have a direction.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of talented kids in the program, a lot of talented kids in the high school program, and that's what we're trying to do. Again, we're just trying to facilitate that and not only increase that talent level, but then again, teach them how to be good young men, be good competitors, how to play the game correctly, how to respect your opponents, and how to win gracefully and lose gracefully, right? And there's times where we've won a lot of baseball games, but we've lost some too, and teaching them how to be good sports is a big part of it, especially in youth baseball when they're used to winning a lot. Yeah.
Always a plus.
Yeah.
Coach, pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for allowing us to come in here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you.
We're looking forward to seeing you this summer.
Yeah. Yep.
Zach Burden, Reed Robinette.
So you guys got to talk to me about the stickers. What do you mean? So what do you got there?
All right, so all of these, the hitting ones, hammers, these are all like big hits, triples, maybe like scoring in 3 runs, stuff like that.
Hold the helmet up. There you go, so we can see your face.
And then those are all big hits. All these baseball ones back here, these are all like big plays in the field. Maybe you made double play, 1, 2, 3 inning, got all 3 outs, something like that. Just any big plays in the field.
Very good. So what's the one on the front? What is it? I know you got a hammer, but what are those?
These are all big hits too. These are all like triples and like
Triples and doubles?
doubles, and homers, stuff like that.
You hitting one out of the park?
No.
No? So those are all doubles and triples.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, are they Little League triples or are they real triples?
They're real, like in the gaps in the outfield. They just,
Very good. You got some speed then too?
yeah.
So how come there ain't no lightning bolts on yours?
We didn't get lightning bolts.
You didn't get lightning bolts?
Yeah, we don't have those.
You haven't got them. All right. How many you got there, bud?
Basically the same like him
Is this all from last year, guys?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah. These
2
are,
years ago.
yeah.
So you're not doing it this year?
No.
I
Okay.
don't think so.
Do you like the stickers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. All
They're
right.
cool on these.
Yeah. All right. Thank you much.
Yeah.
Think about where's my barrel compared to where's the knob, right? So I want my knob, if I'm pulling the ball, I want my barrel to be facing the opposite base, okay? If I'm not, I want my knob to be facing the base that I'm going toward, right? That's where you know you're going to set your angles to where you're not going to bunt it right back to the pitcher. Now, if we're sack bunting, the important thing is I just don't want to bunt it right back to the pitcher. But if I'm trying to bunt for a hit, I'm seeking that line, right? I want to get within that close to the line. That way they have no chance of throwing me out, okay? So let's try to, this round, let's try to seek out those bunts for hits, right? Let's really try to get it down those lines to where we know we can get that base hit, all right? Whichever one you want to do, whether it's pull side or opposite, right? Obviously, especially left-handers, it's good to go third baseline because that's a harder throw than the first baseline. But sometimes a good pull, drag bunt down the first baseline is a really good play for a left-hander because you're kind of already moving that way anyway, all right? So I'll let you guys choose which side you want to go, but we're seeking out hits here, all right?
Did you get some points on the bunting? Did you get points? What does that say? Do you know?
We don't do salt.
You don't do salt?
Wait, which one do we do?
Pace.
Yeah, pace.
That's for football. Pace. What's pace?
Pressure applied causes errors.
Pressure applied causes errors. Is that a high school thing? Is that a
Yeah.
whole program?
That's a whole program.
Cool. All right. Good luck, fellas.
You too.
Okay, folks, we're here with Matt Hesh. Coach, introduce yourself. What team do you coach?
So Matt Hesh from Nixa, Missouri, and I coach the 13U Red from Nixa Youth Baseball Program.
Talk to us a little bit. We just, been here, the workout, got through it. What was your main focus today with the kids, and what are you trying to get out of your winter workouts?
Yeah, so I think the main thing is that we want to get good at things that they're going to see every day in games. So we had Station 1, bunting, obviously not back to the pitcher. At Station 2, curveballs. I think Tom House was the one that said the brain recognizes the curveball from a pitcher's hand the more times he sees it. So that's what we try to do here, just live arm with the coach, hitting it to oppo. And then over here, leadoffs and returns by Tyler Gillum from Savannah Bananas. I bought his base running program, and so we've been doing that for about 3 years. Just get really good at returns, stealing, fake steal, that kind of thing.
Gotta love anything from the Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
It's just fun, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And with kids, you want to try and keep it. A workout at this age level can sometimes be very mundane for these kids. They don't know necessarily. So keeping it fun and competitive is a priority, isn't it?
Yes, I totally agree with that. And then I think, see guys, and again, Tyler Gillum said the very thing. If you introduce a new skill to someone, the kid's brain will like fire off, and if because it's new. So if it gets mundane, then it gets old and it's not as much fun. So yeah, you're right. Try to do things that are new, interesting, competitive for sure.
Absolutely. Talk to us about how long you've been with the program.
So I must be 6 or 7 years now. I've had these guys since they were 8, and so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so 5 years, and we won 2 state championships. I think the team that's 13 now got ranked high as 1 in the state, 7 in the region, and 24 in the nation before we got beat by Bubba Carpenter's team out of Arkansas, the Prospects Black. Otherwise, we would have probably got bumped to major, which that was one of our goals. So we got upset there, and so they're AAA now. They'll be AAA in this summer. So
very good. So with this team, you've got evidently some talented young players. What is your goal with these kids as a matter of the program? Understand, how do you balance the winning and the development process?
That's a very good question, because if it were up to me, and I took some of the parents' input, we would play more league where it's not quite as competitive, and then you would have your kids that need development pitching. They would get to play more in the pitcher, or maybe on the infield, or maybe outfield, wherever. But so it is tough. So you do try to get kids into more positions on maybe Friday game or Saturday game, and then Sunday. I've only hit 9 twice in my life, and then brought those 2 guys in. But it is hard to balance all of that, because I think you better pull the parents on that, because parents on this team, it's really win however you can, and that fit in good with my personality. So that's how I coached it. But the secret is then to have really good practices. You better have good practices, and the parents have to see, and the coaches have to see that the kids are getting better in those practices, and then you can get away with a little more leeway in the games.
Absolutely. It's always difficult navigating these types of situations, because they're so young, and dealing with the pressures of learning how to be successful. And that's the way I put it, because I don't think you can ever guarantee, you can have success and still lose a ball game, right?
Right. Yep.
And I think that's the truth about baseball. You can have a successful game and still come up on the short end. So, what are some of those things as these kids are getting closer to that age, where I think winning, the result does matter a little bit more to them. What is that thought process becoming?
Well, I think at that point, and we've tried to incorporate some of it, but it is harder, because it seems like it gets pushed by the wayside, but more of the mental training. And that's very difficult, because you'd rather be doing ground balls, or you'd rather do fly balls. But so if we were going to get better at, probably every team in the program, it would be mental training. And we don't practice that as much as we need to. We know after these 2 years here, it's not very often that, and I had to explain that to them the last 2 years, because we got beat in a tournament that we probably should have won. It's not very often you win the last game of the season. And so when we lost last year, that was the first time that had happened in a long time. And they were just like distraught. And then it happened to us again the year later. But as they get older, you're running into these kids that have testosterone, and they're 6'2", pumping gas. Well, this kid doesn't have any testosterone. There's just a big difference right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you work on the mental training, but everybody needs it, probably including myself.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It is tough. Yeah.
And I think those are things that are interesting as you start to navigate through that next level of development with these kids. Last thing, get you out of here. Success today?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yep. Anytime you can. So we love the returns and all the stuff that Tyler Gillum takes us through, and then hitting the curveballs, and then being able to bunt. I think at Nixa, you better be able to do at all the big schools around here. Nixa, Willard, Ozark, Kickapoo. You better be able to pitch, and you better be able to bunt, and you better be able to do the base running. But if you can pitch and you can hit, you're going to find a spot. So we really try to focus on those two things. So every player on my team, since they were 8, we've been practicing pitching drills. And so all 11 of them now can pitch. Now, it may not be
I understand
70, but they can all throw strikes when we need them to. So that's one thing you better have at these bigger schools. You better be able to pitch, and you better be able to hit.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Thanks for coming down. Thank you. Thanks.
We don't expect you to think about baseball and breathe baseball all the time, but a lot of you work a lot harder on making sure your Fortnite characters are better than what your baseball game is, right? And listen, I'll throw my son into that. I think sometimes he'd rather be down in our basement playing video games than upstairs and at DBAT working on his game. We're getting to the age now. We're junior high, 6th grade. We got to be thinking about really putting our best foot forward and getting better. And what is really important to us. Now, playing video games isn't bad. Like, listen, I've played video games a lot of my life too. But when it comes time to work, like Coach Rob said, it's time to work. I know a couple times I saw him having to focus some people up. Listen, when you're in a cage, you should be ready to get in there. You should be chomping at the bit to be the next one up there. We shouldn't be having to say, hey, get up, somebody get up here, somebody get up here. No, you should be, listen, if somebody's not ready, I'm just going to step in and I'll go hit, right? There's nothing I love more in this world than hitting a baseball. That's the most fun thing you can do, right? So be focused, get better, because I guarantee you, like Coach Hesh said, somebody's right behind you, and they'll catch up to you if you're not. Right? You have anything?
Well, big picture, you older, you got a year and a half. You guys have 2.5 years to be in high school. Get better every time you come in here. Work hard and enjoy it. Right? It should be something you look forward to. Do something like, let's practice. Let's go. Or it's not even practice time. Let's go. Work on infield. Let's go work on veterans. Because Coach Hughes has an awesome culture being Nixa. I guarantee you, if he's going to play, he thinks he can win them games. I don't care if you're a freshman or a senior. If he thinks you can win games, you're going to be playing. It's tough. It is. That's why it's important to work hard and try to get better at what you're doing every day.
All right, hey, hang on a second here. I think we're going to have a little something special for you guys. So,
Mr. Judge and Otani on the same card there. But this isn't going to be easy. You guys good with that? We're going to test and see if you guys know baseball. Good with that?
Yes, sir.
So I'll try and keep it in your decade. We'll go for that way. In 2013, who became the youngest position player to start the NL in the MLB All-Star Game? Just raise your hand. Go ahead. Dude! He banged it right out. I love that. Come here. No? Huh? There you are. There you go. All right. You guys ready? On June 13th, 2019, who became the first Japanese-born player to hit for the cycle in the major league? His hand went up first.
Shohei Otani.
There you go. Look at that. It wasn't as hard as he thought it was going to be, Coach. All right, come on over here. You got to hold those for me.
Do you need me to get that?
I got it. We're doubling up here. There you go, bud.
Thank you.
You are welcome. All right.